In today's show, Bitcoin price spiked to $39,000, leads traders to say the panic is over for a few days. As crypto analyst McAlvin, they pop shares here. Honest view, panic is over for a few days, maybe weeks. Markets reacting in a sense that gold is going to correct. Risk on assets like equities and Bitcoin are going up. Potentially runs a 20 to 45% on altcoins to happen. Erect Capital points out that a very early stage Bitcoin ascending triangle could be forming. Time will tell. Plan B updates us here. Gold versus Bitcoin. Flatliner versus exponential growth. And Max Keiser chimes in. Yep, Bitcoin is the fastest horse in the race. Gold being sent to the glue factory. And this just in, breaking news. Coinbase made $2.2 billion in revenue from transaction fees alone in Q4. Hence the real reason they won't add Bitcoin, Lightning Network. And as Najib Bukele announces here, Bitcoin is good for the pets. That's right, the Shivo Pet Hospital is now live. And check this out, El Salvador's first national pet hospital treatments will only cost you 25 cents when paid in Bitcoin. Bravo. Also in today's show, breaking news, U.S. Senator Ted Cruz invokes Canadian unrest to advocate for Bitcoin again. That's right, quoting him right here from a new speech. One of the reasons I'm bullish on Bitcoin is because it's decentralized. The left hates Bitcoin because they can't control it. And as pointed out here, he is a politician using his understanding of Bitcoin to his advantage. The only winning move for his political opponents are to be more pro-Bitcoin. That's right, the Bitcoin game theory in full effect. Also in today's show, Ukraine Bitcoin exchange volume spikes 200% as Russia war sparks currency concerns. That's right, Bitcoin and altcoin trading volumes have surged at a major Ukraine crypto exchange in the aftermath of Russia's invasion, according to new data. Also in today's show, Bitcoin will hit $200,000 in the second half of 2022, predicts FS Insight. That's right, according to their new report, they say in the second half of this year, Bitcoin could increase 462% from the current price. And we'll also be discussing Max Keiser's $220,000 Bitcoin price prediction as billionaires fear the dollar will go to hell. That's right, Max Keiser recently tweeted, gold's going to have a tough time. The same derivatives traders who have kept the price down for years just got their marching orders to quadruple down, since two of the biggest beneficiaries of higher gold prices are China and Russia. Bitcoin new all-time high incoming, $220,000 still in play. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. As you can see, Bitcoin, Ether, and all the major alts are currently pumping and in the green. But where's the Bitcoin price? Likely to go next. Find out all this, plus so much more, in today's show. Here at Crypto News Alerts, I drop a brand new episode every single day. The goal is to get to 100,000 subs, along with a $100,000 Bitcoin price. If you like getting that crypto, be sure to smash that subscribe button and ring that bell to turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, just like this. Today's episode is brought to you by the FTX app, formerly known as Blockfolio. I've been using this app literally every single day for the past few years. It's the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is check my crypto portfolio. I personally love it because it's the easiest and fastest way to buy Bitcoin, Ether, and other top cryptocurrencies with zero fees, truly making this a no-brainer. And they're trusted by over 6 million people worldwide and over 200 plus countries around the world. And they have a special promo they're running right now where you can earn free crypto on every trade over $10. Here's how it works when you use my referral link in the description right down below. Every trade over $10 earns you a chance to get a random free coin, and the more you trade, the more you earn. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and use my referral link in the description right down below and download the FTX app today. Make some trades, claim your free crypto, and let's start stacking those sats. Shall we? All right, welcome back to another episode of Crypto News Alerts. I'm your host, JV. How's it going, crypto fam? Make some noise in the live chat. Now, global financial markets and crypto markets were pummeled over the last 24 hours as the invasion of Ukraine by Russia forces sent investors scrambling and sell-offs took place across most asset classes. Data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView shows that the price of Bitcoin hit a low of 34,300 in the early trading hours on February 24th, shortly after the Ukraine incursion began, and has since climbed its way back to 38,500 after an unexpected short squeeze may have wrapped bearish investors on the knuckles. And right here, you're looking at the Bitcoin one-day candle chart. And here's a look at what several other analysts are saying about the Bitcoin price action and how the ongoing conflict could impact crypto markets in the short term. Now, Bitcoin's collapse on the night of February 23rd was not unexpected by most traders. And according to crypto trader Pentoshi, Bitcoin price could recover the $40,000 mark in the short term. And despite this positive outlook, Pentoshi expressed wariness of the overall macro environment, which looks pretty dire, and in a follow-up tweet on February 24th, Pentoshi held firm with the projection that Bitcoin will eventually trade higher from here. Quoting him here, Bitcoin now in the blue value zone, not exactly the path I'd hoped to take to get here. I think in time this will have been a great buy area, and a more in-depth assessment of the current situation was offered by David Lifshitz, Managing Director and Chief Investment Officer at Exo Alpha, who noted that Bitcoin and other cryptos have been moving up and down in tandem with the Russia/Ukraine news, so the plunge in cryptos and other assets was expected following the first, even if surgical, strikes in the Ukraine. The one positive for the crypto market was that there was less leverage at play during the drawdown in May of 2021, which resulted in less liquidation of over-leveraged players and hence a milder correction versus what was seen in May. Now, Lifshitz pointed to the fact that Bitcoin's recent low of 34,300 was near the low of the range that has been stuck at for weeks now, and suggested that the direction of Bitcoin and other cryptos will be driven by what happens in the next couple of days with the Ukraine-Russia situation. And aside from the short-term impact of this conflict, Lifshitz stated that the elephant in the room is the central bank rate hikes that won't be as tough as they should be to tame inflation, but will be enough to put more pressure on the economy and the stock market. Quoting him here, a hard landing in the last 12 years of central banks' lax monetary policy is in progress, and the Ukraine-Russia may just have been the pin that everything bubble was looking for. Now, a final bit of insight was provided by crypto analyst Mikhail Van-de-Pop, who shares here on crypto Twitter, honest view, panic is over for a few days, maybe weeks. Markets reacting in a sense that gold is going to correct. Risk on assets like equities and Bitcoin are going up, potentially runs at 20 to 45% on altcoins to happen. And as Samson Mao points out, if you follow sheep, you'll get slaughtered. Start from first principles and determine for yourself why Bitcoin is a risk off asset. That's right, sometimes it performs like a risk on asset, but it's important to keep in mind it is a risk off asset. So check it. Analysis of what comes next for Bitcoin if the panic continues was also provided by crypto trader and synonymous Twitter user Angelo Doge, who posted the following tweet pointing to support at 25,000 in the event that the bears break through the $33,000 level. As he shares here on crypto Twitter, low chance Bitcoin holds 33,000 on a second visit. Sometimes things need to get worse before they can get better. Upon support failure, $25,000 Bitcoin comes next. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst, and stay off the leverage. So there you have it. And as Rec Capital shares here, very early stage Bitcoin ascending triangle forming. Well, time will tell. And as Plan B updates us here, gold versus Bitcoin, flatliner versus exponential growth. And as Max Keiser shares, yep, Bitcoin is the fastest horse in the race. Gold being sent to the glue factory. Take that, Peter Schiff. And this just in breaking news, Coinbase made a whopping $2.2 billion in revenue just from their transaction fees alone in Q4. And Molly Spears points out the real reason they won't add Bitcoin Lightning. That's right. And as Najib Bokele shares here, Bitcoin is good for the pets because their Shivo Pet Hospital is now live. And I think it's amazing that for 25 cents, when you pay in Bitcoin, you can have a treatment for your pet. It doesn't get any better than that. And before I break down the next breaking story of the day, U.S. Senator Ted Cruz invokes Canadian unrest to advocate for Bitcoin again. But first, let's take a quick look at the overall crypto market. Pumping like a mofo with Bitcoin up 12% for the day, trading just under $39,500. We have Ether up a whopping 15%, trading above $2,700. Luna up a whopping 29%, trading at $67. Avalanche up almost 18%, trading above $77.50. And Solana up 14%, trading back above $91. But all right, now let's break down our next story of the day. U.S. Senator Ted Cruz, during his Conservative Political Action Conference speech on Friday, advocated for Bitcoin again while lauding its decentralization. Cruz said he is very bullish on Bitcoin because it's highly decentralized and cannot be controlled by any government or entity. He went on to cite an example of an ongoing issue in Canada where the government has enforced emergency laws as a retaliation to the Freedom Convoy truckers' protest against COVID mandates. Now, the Canadian government asked financial institutions and banks to freeze the accounts of protesters, followed by an order to crypto exchanges and crypto wallet service providers to do the same. Non-custodial wallet service provider Nunchuck received a similar order, and its response to the government went viral. I shared it with you here in the show. It was pretty brilliant. They basically said there's nothing you can do to stop it, and eventually when the Canadian dollar collapses, we'll be here to serve you too. Now, yeah, this speech from Ted Cruz is very powerful. I'm going to include this clip in the show notes below the video in the description. Now, Cruz read the response of the Bitcoin wallet service provider, which asked the Canadian government to read up on self-custody wallets and private keys. The response also notified that Nunchuck doesn't have access to any of its users' financial information beyond their email address, which is by design. ban. The senator called Nunchuck's response spectacular and went on to cite the example of the Chinese crypto ban to suggest Bitcoin cannot be controlled by governments. Facts. Now, Senator Cruz also joined a growing list of American politicians rallying behind Bitcoin, advocating for use of waste of natural gas for Bitcoin mining in Texas, and recently buying the Bitcoin dip, BTFD all day. However, propagating about the left being anti-Bitcoin, citing Canadian dictator Justin Trudeau as an example, wasn't received well among crypto Twitter. One user wrote, "Bitcoin is apolitical and politicizing it left versus right is a wrong move." As someone shared right here, politicizing it as left versus right is the wrong angle, Senator. Bitcoin is apolitical. And another user noted that Cruz, being a politician, is using Bitcoin knowledge to his advantage and suggested the opponents become more pro-Bitcoin to counter him. As he shares here on Twitter, he is a politician using his understanding of Bitcoin to his advantage. The only winning move for his political opponents are to be more pro-Bitcoin. Touché. Bitcoin game theory in full effect. Now, it's important to note that while there are policymakers who are making efforts at the judicial level to bring changes to the law for Bitcoin adoption, such as Miami Mayor Francis Suarez, Senator Cynthia Lummis, and a few others, a majority of them seem to be focused on using it as a tool for their political campaigns. Bring it. And before I break down next story of the day, Ukraine Bitcoin exchange volume spikes 200% as Russia war sparks currency concerns. But first, let's take a quick look at the overall crypto market cap, sent above $1.7 trillion with $116 billion in volume in the past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance back on the rise at 42.6%, with the Ether dominance at 18.3%. And checking out the top 100 cryptocurrency gainers for the week, we have ANC up 67%, and Luna up 32.5%, and 98 of the rest of the top 100 are still in the red. And checking out one of my favorite indicators is the Crypto Greed and Fear Index. Shows we're currently rated a 27 out of 100 in fear, yesterday at 23, last week at 30, and last month at 23 in extreme fear. And if you're not familiar with the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, extreme fear can be a sign investors are too worried. That could be a great buying opportunity, aka BTFD, buy that freaking dip. And when investors are getting too greedy, that means the market is due for a correction. But all right, now let's break down our next story of the day. Bitcoin and altcoin trading volumes have surged at a major Ukraine crypto exchange in the aftermath of Russia's invasion, according to new data. According to monitoring resource CoinGecko on February 24th, volume on Kuna almost tripled to over $4 million. As the armed conflict with Russia began, the impact on the fiat currencies of both countries was immediately apparent, with the Russian ruble suffering noticeably more. The Ukrainian hryvnia also fell, targeting 30 per dollar in what would be a new all-time low. Ukraine, which just this month finally ratified a law legalizing cryptocurrency after much back and forth between lawmakers, unsurprisingly saw interest in alternatives snap higher. The effect was obvious as 7-year-old Kuna, whose volumes were under 1 million on February 21st, but almost 4.1 million just 3 days later. And as per data from CoinGecko, the fervor had already begun to subside after the initial rush, this coinciding with stabilizing fiat rates versus the United States dollar and other major currencies. Now less clear were Kuna's own rates, thus showing a curious spread on either side of the Bitcoin spot price. And at the time of this recording, Bitcoin is trading back above $39,000 and trading as high as $40,000 on the Kuna exchange. Now a separate argument for entry into Bitcoin, meanwhile, came from government currency controls this week. On Wednesday, the National Bank of Ukraine began restricting cash, limiting their local currency withdrawals to about $3,353 per day, and banning cross-border foreign currency purchases and withdrawals outright. And a Facebook post confirmed that the bank also sought to establish a stable local currency exchange rate. And Russia's central bank, meanwhile, began intervening in forex markets to prop up its nosediving ruble on Thursday, with several moves seemingly occurring over the past 24 hours. And before I break down our final story of the day, Bitcoin will hit $200,000 in the second half of this year, predicts FS Insight, as well as Bitcoin set for $220,000 in 2022, says Max Keiser, as billionaires fear the dollar will go to hell. But first, I want to remind you to smash that show more button right below this video in the description for a detailed analysis of what's going on in the crypto market. This goes for all 1,000 plus videos right here on my YouTube channel. Also, some very helpful resources for you to plug into, including my crypto merch store, now live at merch.cryptonewsalerts.net. Also have a daily letter which goes out to over 30,000 subscribers every single day. To subscribe, visit letter.cryptonewsalerts.net. Also have a blog I update daily which can be found at cryptonewsyes.com. Also be sure to smash that subscribe button and ring that bell to help support the channel. And of course, you can find me on all the major podcasting platforms, from Spotify to Apple's iTunes. And if you're listening to the pod, be sure to check out the YouTube channel at cryptonewsalerts.net. cryptoeconomics.net for the full premium experience with video. And of course, you can follow me on crypto Twitter, Facebook, Telegram, and TikTok. So wherever you're at, be sure to follow me there. But all right, now let's break down our next story of the day. Cryptos have seen an especially volatile past few months, but an influential market analysis company is predicting gigantic gains in the coming months. That's right, FS Insight, and a note to investors, says Bitcoin could hit $200,000 in the second half of 2022. That's a 462% increase from the current crypto price. And Ethereum is also set for potentially huge gains, said FS Insight, with a prediction of a price as high as $12,000 this year, which is a 385% premium to where it's currently trading. Now, the report also noted that cryptos are increasingly becoming connected to tech stocks. Sean Farrell, head of digital asset strategy, said this was due to legacy market capital entering the fold. And last year, the crypto industry saw venture capitalists invest $30 billion into tokens and blockchain companies. Major corporations also boosted their holdings significantly. This is much different from 2018, where tech stocks were still doing very well, but Bitcoin sold off along with the rest of the crypto market, said Farrell. And to meet the $200,000 target, Bitcoin would need to attract another wave of investors, as it did last year, something Farrell says he sees as a reasonable chance of happening. And meanwhile, the growth in NFTs, Web3 applications, and decentralized finance apps have resulted in significant growth for the Ethereum network, which makes it remarkably undervalued, says Farrell. Now, bullish predictions on Bitcoin have been made before, of course, and most optimistic have rarely proved accurate, but FS Insight and Farrell says they're still among the faithful as long as the government doesn't get in the way. Quoting him here, all assets can sell off and drop another 50% if the Fed hikes 4% tomorrow or next month, he said. But right now, as things stand, the upside to both Bitcoin and ETH is much larger than the downside. Touche. And speaking of a multi-six-figure Bitcoin price prediction, Max Keiser doubles down and says Bitcoin is set for $220,000 in 2022. Quoting Max Keiser right here, all the Bitcoin fundamentals are screaming higher. The China mining ban last year was a temporary hiccup. I'm on my way to El Salvador, where the Bitcoin revolution will expand and push fiat money into extinction. The news comes as Hungarian billionaire Thomas Peterfy was once opposed to cryptos, said it was safe to have 2% or 3% of his personal wealth in crypto, just in case fiat money goes to hell. Now, the Hungarian billionaire, his company recently offered its clients the option to trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. This was after detected an urgency amongst investors to participate in trading action. And quoting the 77-year-old billionaire right here, it is possible for cryptocurrencies to generate extraordinary returns, although the reverse is also true. And another billionaire who is equally enthusiastic about Bitcoin is Ray Dalio, the founder of Bridgewater Associates, who recently revealed that Bitcoin and Ethereum is in his wallet. He said it's important to invest in cryptocurrencies because money is a dumpster and inflation erodes purchasing power. The news comes after nearly half of the family offices that Goldman Sachs does business with were interested in adding cryptos to their portfolios. And another billionaire, Kathy Wood of ARK Invest Management, expects Bitcoin to hit $500,000 over the next 5 years. And quoting Max Keiser right here from a recent tweet, gold going to have a tough time. The same derivative traders who have kept the price down for years just got their marching orders to quadruple down. Since two of the biggest beneficiaries of higher gold prices are China and Russia, Bitcoin new all-time high incoming, $220,000 still in play. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Max Keiser's $220,000 Bitcoin price prediction. Now for the top 3 comments from yesterday's episode, eCoin wrote, Aloha JV, great show. Keep up the solid work. I'm with Sam Bankman-Fried. Spread more aloha. The world needs it. Cheers, fam. Greatly appreciate you tuning in as always. And yes, Sam Bankman-Fried for the win. Our next featured comment comes from Chris Minka, who wrote, we have the fight of the century between fiat versus BTC, astrology versus hodlers. I bought 0.29 BTC at 34,900 last night. I stand at the bottom as in at 33,000. You could have either buy, sell, hodl, or lurk. I am a hodler, but I got love for my astrology friends along with economists and meteorologists. If you were right often, you would be a billionaire living 80-degree sunny days. Dollar cost average in hodl BTC will win. Cheers, Chris. Congrats on stacking them stats. Love seeing you win. Now for our third and final featured comment comes from Nate. Good update on the tragic day in the world, JV. I bought this morning just off the lows, and I'm up nicely right now. Is the bottom in? Could be, but thinking this may well be a buy the news situation. I bought a little more Bluezilla as well, my favorite altcoin, go Bitcoin. So you're not quite ready to replace gold as the safe haven to go all in on circumstances, but have safe haven attributes as the people of Ukraine and other Eastern European countries are learning. And oh yeah, as Canadians are learning too, you might be forming an entire entirely new asset class with attributes of others, but not entirely replacing others. That works for me. Bitcoin, baby. You got a heck of a future ahead of you, and I'm glad to be along for the ride. Thumbs up to another good update, JV. Cheers, Nate. You got it, fam. Bitcoin to the moon. Send it. And to be featured on tomorrow's episode, drop me a comment right down below.